Yeah. So somebody is asking about the sessions. So as I said, basically I used to take maximum three, minimum of 2 classes in a week. So unfortunately, one of the training faculties left the institute. So filling that gap actually. Basically, he used to take a few online sessions and mostly he focus on offline sessions actually. So because of that gap, I'm taking the extra classes. Otherwise, I used to take 3 classes in a week. So this week we have closely 5 sessions. Maybe Thursday we may have a gap, or we may take leave or holiday. Maybe other day we'll have class, even Sunday also. Depends on. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry.
దానికి
బాలకృష్ణ మీ వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదు.
సారీ సార్ మ్యూట్.
చెప్పండి.
అది జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడే జాయిన్ అయ్యా సార్, అది చెప్పారు కదా, మిస్ అయ్యాను.
ఓకే, అదేం లేదు క్లాసుల గురించి. సో ఎందుకు ఈ మండే కూడా జరుగుతుంది అంటే, సో ఇంతకుముందు మనకి ఒక ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఉండేవాళ్ళు, ఆయన లేరు, ఆయన వదిలేసి వెళ్ళిపోయారు ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ని. సో అందు గురించి నేను తీసుకుంటాల్సి వస్తుంది. లేదంటే నేను వీక్లీ 3 క్లాసెస్ తీసుకుంటాను మాక్సిమం, లేదంటే 2 సాటర్డే అండ్ సండే. దట్స్ వాట్. ఓకే, లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్. So as we see in the point number 7, the coordination can be bridged by the communication. So what is about coordination? So we used to interact with the multiple people. For I'll take an example of National Safety Week. So if you are not communicated properly, so we don't know where the people have to assemble, who is going to be the first speaker, and who is distributing the gifts, and where are the gifts are packed and where it is kept, and also who is the person who is calling all the winners of the competitions. So it is about, if you are not communicating properly, so the coordination will not be there with the people. And also public relations can be maintained and also strengthened. So this is also one of the area. For example, if you go to the relatives, or if you speak with any third party people, or if you speak with any external agencies or outside of the organizations, it will be relation can be built, and also it can strengthen, and also to increase the productivity and performance. So if you are communicating it properly, so you are telling your goals, and also you are properly giving all the instructions with respect to what to be done and what not to be done, so automatically the mistakes can be avoided, so productivity will be increased. And it assists the other functions, so almost it's help the other functions, which means other activities, and it gives job satisfaction. Job satisfaction in the sense, so for example, the supervisor, he is not communicating what he wants. The worker is doing what he knows, but at the end of the day, supervisor came and shouting on him, why you are doing like this. So in other case, the supervisor has clearly mentioned what he is expecting from the operator, so he does the same, then the supervisor appreciated by the end of the day, then he'll be very happy, he'll go home happily. It is the basis of leadership, and it gives success to the enterprise. So that when you have communicated all the goals of the organization and all the instructions and the behavioral, the parameters or accepted behaviors in the organization, or the goals and objectives, and everybody will be bind to that, so that the organization will succeed. Yeah. Now we'll see the process of communication. So there is another person, which Shannon and Xavier. So they have made this process. So there are various elements in the communication like sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, and feedback. If I'm not wrong, in our lower classes also we would have seen these elements, how the communication happens. So sender, who is sending a message, it is not only sending a message, who is giving a message. Like me, I'm giving a message in the sense I'm teaching. I'm also a sender. And the message, what I'm trying to convey and what I'm going to convey. Then encoding words and symbols and gestures, like how our mobile phone communication, how it happens. So we'll be speaking in audio. So then it will be uh, encoded to binary digits and zeros and ones. Then it will go to the tower. Then it is decoded. Again, it will become a voice and it will come to our mobile phone. Then a channel. So the route or medium, the path or the pass, how you are communicating it. So these are various examples like one-to-one discussions, phone, a pager or a radio, TV, letters, etc. And receiver also one of the element. So who receives the message? He may be a listener or reader or sometimes observer also. And decoding, the process of understanding and also interpreting by the receiver, and feedback. So it is a mean a reply or response or acknowledgement from the receiver that he understood the message, and it may be by words, actions, or expressions. We see in the WhatsApp, we'll get a feedback. Okay, hi, we can get a hi, or we'll get a feedback that we'll get two blue ticks. Once we see initially gray ones, then once a person sees the message, it turns blue, then he will get the reply. Otherwise, also we can see yes, the person has read the message. Okay, when the sender receives such feedback, the process of communication becomes complete. When the communication completes, yes, I have read your message, or we will get a response to that message. Then only we can say that it is a complete communication. Again, I'll go through, it is an important topic. There are 7 elements in the communication. One is sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, and feedback. So this is a pictorial representation how the communication will go. So sender will send the message, it gets encoded, go to the channel, and receiver receives it, he will decode and he will understood. Then he will send a feedback to the sender. Yes, I have understood your message, or whatever the feedback according to the message. Again, there are nature of communication, how it should be. So it is a continuous process. It is not that it is one-time activity. And whenever it stoppages means a stoppage of human activity. Whenever you are not communicating with others, so your complete world will stops running. And it is a two-way process between sender and receiver. So how the sender will send a message, and in a reverse, the receiver will give a feedback. And it creates a mutual understanding and a human relation. So until unless you're not communicating, whatever it is, your interests or love or any suggestions, whatever it is, if you're not communicating, it won't, you won't get the, or you won't find a good relation between humans. And this is a pervasive function that is required in all managerial functions. The communication is required in all the functions, in the sense of whatever the activities the managers are performing. Okay. And this is another, area where we have to focus. There are different types of channels or media of communication, how the communication will go through, how the information will flow. So basically, it will flow through two different. One is the channels. So there are formal channels and informal channels. How the information will go, and the media is nothing but the path how it will go. So the media will be oral medium, or by written, electronic, or gestures. Electronic may be mails or WhatsApp messages. Gestures will be various signals by hand or eyes or various physical gestures. And with respect to channels, there are two channels basically. So one is the formal channel, so where in the organization we used to follow, and other is the informal channel. And this way also the information will passes through in the organizations. Informal will be like it will goes in all the directions. There is no proper defined or specific direction. It is an informal channel. In the formal channel, either it will go a downward, upward, horizontal, or diagonal. As we seen yesterday, line and staff function, there we have the control or the authority flows in a vertical manner. But the specialists are attached to those lines where they can only give the advice to the other department people. They won't have any authority on them. The same way, either the information in the down way or downwards, either it will go in a horizontal, either it may go in diagonal also. This is how various channels and media we use for communicating a message. And there are different tools also. We use various tools like for communicating the information. One is oral, which is verbal, what I'm doing currently. It is a personal contact or a phone or meeting, audio or videos. Another one is written, which is about writing letters or any circulars, memos or notices, handbook, etc. And visuals, news reels or films, video, posters, which mean safety posters or pictures or any boards. And informal, casual or incidental talk and meeting. So informal maybe you're on the way you're going or somebody suddenly they came and then you just communicating them about any specific topic. That will be casual or incidental talk. It is not a planned one. Others are the planned communications. This is also a very important topic. More frequently asked the question, especially in this management paper, the barriers of communication. Barrier. Any idea what is meant by the barrier?
Any interruption during communication is called barrier.
Gaps.
Okay, gaps, disturbance, obstruction,
Obstacles.
obstacles,
Restricted path.
restricted path. Okay, fine. So here we see a few barriers to communication, which means those are obstacles or I can say issues or the problems while we face in the communication. One is incomplete, ambiguous, or badly expressed message. This is the one barrier. Incomplete or badly expressed message. Maybe next of.
అవే నీ హాట్స్పాట్ ఆన్ చేయి కొంచెం క్లాస్ ఉంది రావట్లే బఫరింగ్ వస్తుంది.
Sorry. And absence of clarity of thought. So there is no clarity what a person is communicating. Absence of brevity, exactness, unwanted length or unwanted words, and repetition of same statements and over elaboration, unnecessary explanations, etc. These are also barriers to communication. Then timeliness, it is nothing but a message not reach in time. Maybe it reaches maybe after 2 hours or 6 months or 2 years. It is not reaching on time. So the doctors used to say that, okay, if you would have brought him 10 minutes before, we would have saved his life. Maybe the timeliness. A lack of attention by the receivers, that is also one barrier. So whoever is the listening, if they're not paying attention to the speaker, so that is also one of the barrier. Or organizational barrier, nothing but scalar chain of command or filtering of message, disagreement to the informal communication or excessive controls. It is nothing but, So the communication has to pass through by layer, one level to other levels. That is also one of the barrier. Sometimes information also gets filtered. As I mentioned, Sitaram, by the end of the communication, what will go? It will go Ram Sita. So that is how it happens. Organizational barrier also, I mean, scalar chain, all this will be also a barrier for communication. Then a status barrier, like designation wise, subordinates has fear to report everything to the supervisor and may hide unpleasant facts. That is also one barrier, status barrier. Then perceptual barrier. So receiver may pay attention only on that part where he interest or linking and may underrate or filter the message. So here perceptual barrier means, oh, this is not my piece of information, so I need not to listen. Whichever the topic he is interested, whichever the matter he is interested, in those matters only he put his ears. And information overloaded. So this is also one of the barrier. We should not overload any information. So otherwise, what will happen? The people will not, lose the focus due to overload of work. The managers may ignore some messages, may forget to inform some people, or may send incomplete messages. Then premature evaluation. So the receiver evaluates the message before getting complete information. That is, he drives a premature conclusion. So he directly jump into the conclusion before starting up a lecture. हाँ, ये तो मेरे को मालूम है सब कुछ, ये सुनने की जरूरत नहीं है. So he will evaluate before completion of the communication itself. Channel distortions, as I mentioned, physical, mechanical, or electronic disturbances due to the audio system is not working, the video system is not working, etc., etc. Improper order of information. So whatever the information we are giving, it is jumbled. It is not properly ordered in a manner. And improper selection of medium. So instead of choosing oral, I have chosen electronic media. Maybe that is wrong. Or emotional or sentimental messages. Sometimes this is also become a barrier. Change of meaning during transmission in the translation. Then unwanted assumptions either by the sender. Okay, these are the various barriers with respect to communication. Okay. Now we'll see what are the essentials of effective communication. It is exactly opposite and positive negatives like. So whatever we have seen in the barriers, it is exactly the opposite words or opposite statements for effective communication. So the message should be clear and complete. Ambiguous are expressed properly. Information should be in a proper order, in sequence. The medium should be proper and effective, whatever the medium you are using. Then channel should be sound and undistorted, so there is no disturbance. Then clarity, so whatever the communication or we are giving should be the clarity of thought. And brevity, the message should be brief, precise, and perfect. So meaningless words or repetitions and excessive detail should be avoided. Timeliness, the message should reach in time. And compassion, the sender should aware the level of understanding and also the background of the receiver. So this is very important, compassion. Whoever the sender, he should know the level of understanding of the people and also the background of the people, so that he can write the messages in such a manner so that it is easy to understand by the receivers. Then integrity, so a message must be consistent with the objectives, policies, and programs and actions, behaviors, and sender should support his message. He should not give unnecessary statements. Then feedback. So definitely there should be a follow-up after the action to get the feedback so that we can understand whether they have received the message or not, whether they have understood the message or not. Then a careful listening by the receivers is necessary. So then only the communication become effective. The strategic use of the graphene. So the sender should try to fill up the gaps in formal communication by strategic use of informal channels. Then create a climate of faith, trust, and good human relations to make communication effective and respectful. So whenever you have, you got the people trust. So you got the good relation with the people. So automatically they will try to listen you when you communicating something. Then communication should be purposeful at a propel speed or sound with synchronizing. So whatever the communication you are giving, it should have a purpose. So unwantedly or unnecessarily, we can't organize a meetings for chit chatting. So whatever the communication you are giving, it should have a clear purpose. And line of communication, like reporting, should be very clear, and evaluation of communication system is useful for the improvement. So whatever the communication you are giving, we used to give trainings, especially in the organizations. We'll conduct the training programs. Then we'll take the training feedback immediately. So that what will happen? So in case of any gaps are there, or where we have improvement areas, we can improve in the upcoming sections or trainings. Okay. So as I said, communication is in a two-way process, two-way communication, how the information will go through. So this is basically happens in the group discussions or any practical assignments, this two-way communication. So one side the information will go and it will go to the receiver, then any adjustment of information of understanding. Then other way, it will go to the feedback. Any adjust of information, then receiver will give a feedback to the sender based on the message and also based on his receiver's understanding. Okay. So if you see two-way communication, the feedback is required, which is not possible without a good listening. So until unless you are not listen the message properly. Okay, here, what is the difference between hearing and listening?
Listening is the thought of the understanding the what the persons tell about their thoughts, about their judgment.
Okay.
Hearing, no need to respond. Listen, we have to respond.
Shimbu, Raju, so we didn't got it actually. There is an, I think, channel distortion or.
Now, hearing is a one-way communication. Listening is a two-way communication.
Listening is two-way communication. Okay. Yes, Gajanan.
Hearing is something which you, even if you do not want to listen, which is not voluntary, but some like noise, vibration, like that. But listening is something you are interested in, and then you listen it and you understand it. It sounds like that.
Correct.
It is reaching to your understanding.
Yes, rightly said. Rightly said. So hearing is maybe forcefully also the people used to hear, like the kids with the teachers or the kids with the parents. They don't want to hear that, but still they just keep one ear in the side and the other side they just leave the information which will go out. They won't keep anything on mind. While listening, what will happen? You are trying to understand and you will be keeping with your memory. That is listening. You are not letting the information go out from other side. In the hearing, what will happen is just come from one side of the ear and with the other ear, it will go out. There you are not learning, or there you are not keeping any information. Okay. So that is, listening is very important, not hearing. So if you see the factors of good listening, how we can improve the listening skills. You would have seen so many talks on listening skills, how to improve on them. So how we can improve? So one is stop talking and thinking other subject. So now you are sitting in the class, maybe with the other hand, maybe you are browsing your phone by keeping yourself in mute. So that is thinking about other topics or either subjects. You'll be emphasize, you'll be focus on, maintain eye contact. So here eye contact with the slide. Then share responsibility for the communication and also clarify the interrogate if it is not understood. So you should be responsible what you are listening, and also if you are having any doubt, you should get the clarity. And two-way communication is a key success. It is once you are listening, you will build the two-way communication. Next. So there are communication and the group dynamics. So the group dynamics, it is nothing but there are social process by which people interact face to face in smaller groups, like a small play games, or they do some chit chat with the groups. This is how the group dynamics will be, like how it is the group will behave like. So the interactions and the forces between the group member in a social situation, and also the nature and development of small groups. So while you are doing with any creating any groups for communications, and other dynamic will be the interactions among the members and also the inter-group behavior. So how each group is communicating with the other group, and also how within the group, how the people are behaving, and how a group should be organized and also operated. And also we have to see the nature, structure, and also a purpose of a group and their influence on the behavior and also a performance of the group members. So these are the various dynamics we can define while doing any such kind of group activities. Okay, we have another 6 minutes. So we have done with the today's session. If you have any questions, we can discuss. We'll start the controlling function, the fourth function of the management. So I'll share this PPT and yesterday's PPTs today. So mostly you will get. So hope you would have got the other two PPTs, right? The PDFs. Anybody still left to get? You have received other two PPTs, management principles.
Sir, Rabba here. Sir,
Rabba.
this PPT is for study.
Yeah,
For exam, yeah.
No, this is also one disclaimer I would have made in the initial days. So basically here, but I can't assure you, but I can assure you for 100%, definitely you'll pass with this PPTs. If at all you want to get a good score, you have to refer the materials also.
Oh, fine.
But 100% sure you will pass with this PPTs.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, basically in the PPTs, as we know, in the PPT, we can't bring a complete material. Here we used to give only the conceptual knowledge of each topic, but you'll get some more additional information in the materials always. And as I mentioned in the first class, we used to give you in the end of the lectures, some important questions, a bunch of questions from each paper. And also we also cover the 6 to 7 years of previous year question papers. That is more than sufficient. You will get 70 to 80%, even 90% of score. You can get easily.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is how we are practicing from long. Yeah. Okay, fine. If no questions, with all your permission, I'll close the session 4 minutes before. Is it fine for everybody?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Good night.
Yes, sir.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.